mysterious quest masters of Arbondy have left hundreds of quests scattered across the land. Even now as we speak, we see 2 adventure parties embarking on their next great quests, hoping to find the almighty Questar so they may become the fabled keepers of the Questar, which was designed by Gordon Lavasser and published by Upper Deck, who sponsored this video. Hey everyone, I'm Mike Murphy of the Brothers Murph, and I'm here with Board Game Geek. Now, the best adventurers are prepared adventurers, so let's get this game down to the table so we can teach you how to play Keepers of the Questar. In Keepers of the Questar, 2 players will be taking on 2 roles, that of Questmaster creating the most fearsome quest for their opponent to take on, all the while controlling a party of adventurers who are attempting to navigate their own quest created by their fellow Questmaster. Players will begin the game by setting up the quest for their opponent, so before we set out on our own adventure, let's learn how to set up a quest. Each player will create a quest for their opponent to undertake, which will be filled with monsters, traps, treasure, and of course the Questar. To set up, each player will first choose a different map for their quest, placing one copy of the map behind their Questmaster's screen and the other in the center of the table for all to see. The screen allows the Questmasters to set up their quest with privacy and also provides information on many game elements for easy reference. Next, players take the quest pad marking which map they have used and adding the rest of the name to their quest. For example, this quest could be called the Ice Caves of Requiem. On the quest pad, players will be presented with different options of what the many game tokens represent. There are level 1, 2, and 3 monsters and traps, each with several options. For each level of monster and trap token, each player selects one based on the type of adventure they want their opponents to have. Information about each monster and trap can be found behind the Questmaster's screen. Be advised, for all game elements, players are also encouraged to come up with their own meanings for the tokens. No monsters or traps are out of bounds, so get creative. Quests can also be populated with a treasure chest, and players can choose an option on the quest pad of an item in the chest. Finally, players will choose the goal of the quest, which the Questmaster's opponent must complete to win. For the first quest, it's recommended to have the goal be for the Questmaster's opponent to find the Questar and escape through the exit portal before their opponent can do the same. As with all other game elements, however, players can choose any goal they wish, whether it appears on the quest pad or not. Once each player has decided what all their game tokens represent, they will populate their quest map with traps and monsters in whatever way they like. When building a quest, the Questmaster will use the circle tokens, while the square tokens will be used on the adventure maps. First, the Questmaster will place the entrance portal. This is where the adventuring party will begin their quest. Next, if playing with the Questar, place it on any square on the map. This can be near the entrance or far away. Next, place the exit portal where the adventuring party will have to get to once the Questar has been found. Once these elements are in place, players may begin placing their monsters and traps. There are only a couple of rules to note when placing tokens, one being that players may not place 2 or more tokens on the same space of the map. The lone exception being that the Questar may be placed with another token. Next, the same level monster cannot be placed adjacent to each other, and the same goes for traps of the same level. Other than that, the players are free to place their tokens freely based on the type of quest they want to create. Players can reference their quest pad at any time and use the types of monsters and traps they created to curate the adventure. For example, you might want a small army of skeletons and orcs to surround the Questar, defending it. Or you may want to place a nasty trap just before the adventurers reach the treasure chest. After placing monsters and traps, if players are using the treasure chest and or the wellspring, place those tokens following the normal placement rules. Each token has a normal side and a side with a check mark. Be sure to place all check marks face down. As the adventurers explore and resolve each token, it can be flipped face up as a reminder that the token has been resolved. Now that I've placed my traps, monsters, and even my big bad Minotaur, I am ready for my opponent to see if they are worthy of completing my quest. But while I've been building, my opponent, a fellow Questmaster, has done the same, so I need to get myself an adventuring party together to go on my very own quest. Each player will select a party of 4 adventurers, each with abilities that can be unlocked by gaining experience points during the quest. The entire party will always move as one, and as abilities get unlocked, the adventurers will have more options of how to navigate their quest. Players can each choose 4 adventurers, or they can do a draft picking 1 adventurer from their hand at a time, passing the rest to their opponent until each player has 4. For an extra challenge, players can even have the Questmaster choose the adventurers for them. On the adventurer cards, players will see each adventurer's portrait, total health, and class. Each adventurer also comes with 3 abilities that can be unlocked once the character has gained 1, 3, and then 6 total experience points. Adventurers should be placed within an easy view of the player controlling them. Each adventurer can be knocked out of the quest if they ever take damage equaling their total health, so be careful. Once each player has their party, the quests begin. Each adventure map has numbers and letters along the edges to give players an easy way to call out coordinates on the map. To start the game, each player reveals the coordinates of the entrance portal. Each player places their square entrance portal on said coordinates and then places their party markers on the entrance. Questmasters will also place a party marker on the entrance behind their screen so they can more easily track where the party is in relation to all the game elements they set up. The youngest player goes first. On a turn, the active player must choose to explore or rest. If they rest, they spend all of their exploration points to remove one damage token from one of their adventurers. If the player chooses to explore, however, they will gain exploration points equal to the amount of adventurers still left in their party. The active player can have their party explore or investigate adjacent spaces. Players move their party vertically or horizontally, but never diagonally. When moving, the active player can call out coordinates of the space they are moving to and are encouraged to describe the path they are taking. If the player enters a space with a token, they will have an encounter. The quest master will reveal the token type and what it stands for, and the active player will place one of their square tokens on the space to make note of this. If the space is empty, the quest master will reveal so and play continues. Players can also investigate around them rather than moving. To investigate, the active player will spend one exploration point to tell the quest master which direction the party is facing. It can be one space away, either vertically or horizontally, but players cannot investigate through walls, which are denoted by a red line on the map. The quest master must reveal if any tokens are on that space, and if so, the active player will place square tokens that match on the indicated space. This gives the adventuring party the option of having an encounter or not, as they now are armed with more information about their surroundings. Encounters can come in the form of monsters, traps, and more. When the adventuring party stumbles onto a trap, the questmaster reveals which trap and what happens. If the active player does not have an adventurer with a disarm trap ability unlocked, the trap is triggered and carried out automatically. Traps provide a number of effects such as dealing damage, moving monsters, activating monster fights, and more. All traps are referenced on the questmaster's screen. If the active party comes across a monster, a fight breaks out. The questmaster will remind the adventurers which type of monster they face, as well as any possible effects the monster has. Monsters have a damage range of 1 to 4 or 1 to 6 depending on their type and level. For example, skeletons have a damage range of 1 to 4, so the questmaster will place combat tokens matching the damage range, and they secretly choose a number between that range that their opponent must try to guess. If the adventurers guess correctly, that monster is defeated and flipped checkmark side up, and the party gains XP equal to that monster's level. If the adventurers do not choose correctly, however, they must pick an adventurer in the party to take a damage, and the active player chooses a different combat token. This process repeats until the active player has guessed correctly, and then the monster is defeated and XP is earned equal to the monster's level. Each time the party gains XP, it must go to one adventurer. The active player may not split it up among different party members. However, players may give XP to different party members at different times. They don't need to max out one member before giving XP to another. As each adventurer gains XP, they will unlock abilities which will be listed on that adventurer's card. Adventurers may come across a chest token, and an encounter will occur when moving onto its space, which may provide a useful item or could contain another monster to fight. If the wellspring is in use and found, it can restore one adventurer's full health, allowing them to stay in the quest for longer. Some abilities allow players to attempt to disarm a trap or heal, and combat tokens also provide letters spelling out trap and heal. When attempting to disarm a trap, much like fighting, the questmaster will place out tokens and choose one letter, and if the player guesses the letter correctly, the trap is disarmed without effect. If they guess incorrectly, however, the trap triggers as normal. If a player wishes to use a heal ability, the same process is carried out using the H, E, A, and L printed on the tokens. If the player guesses the correct letter, they can remove damage from an adventurer, and if they do not, nothing happens. After a player completes all their actions using exploration points, they can move one monster behind their screen to create more challenges for their opponents. Monsters must move horizontally or vertically and cannot move through walls or the adventuring party. Other game effects cause players to lose actions or hold turns, and information for all these can be found on the questmaster's screen each player is provided. During an adventure, a player may lose one or more of their adventurers, which will limit the amount of actions they can take on a turn. Be sure to place tokens out as you explore on your quest so you know where things are, and if you find the Questar, it's time to find the exit and claim victory. Once a player has found the Questar, they must race to the exit portal. If this was found before locating the Questar, there should already be a square token on their adventure map, and it's a simple case of getting to the exit before their opponent can. If the player locates the Questar before finding the exit, they will continue to explore the map by moving and investigating until they can find the exit and escape. The player who finds the Questar and escapes first wins and claims the title of Keeper of the Questar. Keepers of the Questar is all about the story and the feeling of being on a grand adventure. There are relatively few rules on what tokens can mean and where they can go, so players should feel empowered to create their own story that they want to tell, including creating new monsters and traps and even different goals for their opponents to complete in order to complete the quest. Most everything you need to reference, including how to fight and what tokens represent, is printed right on the questmaster's screen, so players can feel free to immerse themselves in the story and use their imagination to set the scene. And if you're looking for more information on Keepers of the Questar, be sure to check out his page at BoardGameGeek.com. And until next time, I'm Mike Murphy. I've been here with Board Game Geek, and that is how you play Keepers of the Questar. Have a great day.